What we're doing today is we're putting the final sealer on, but before we do that, there's some fine touches and some little details to be resolved, and so we've been just doing that. So at both sides of the mural, so we got to get that sealer on and finished up, and I think Jeremy's going to do the final touch down the end there. So we've got that to be done and pack up, and we're good to go.
This is part of what Britannia does on a community development model to work with the community to facilitate community initiatives, and my role as the arts program is to facilitate community arts initiatives, and this is one of the biggest ones that we've ever done. This is absolutely amazing. The colors are fantastic. We've got nothing but positive results from comments from people, and I think it's just livened up this space.
At first it's good, and then it starts getting tiring, but it's a lot better because we have most of the colors done, and the weather is sunny now, so it feels pretty good.
My son, eventually he's going to get into art. He was actually the first one to put on the first stroke of paint, because it's like passing on the torch from the older generation to the younger, like that continuation thing. And plus he just graduated from the high school here, and it's a nice way for him to kind of finish off his year in this area, right?
One of the really cool things about this design is where they've married that natural movement of the crows that fly over Vancouver every single night with the movement of the bicycles and the community that walk by. I really like that they've actually included some natural elements as well, from the ferns and the plants. It's got a feeling of movement, of transition, and actually going somewhere.
Because this is part of the bicycle route, and as you can see, there's tons of cyclists coming up and down this street. One of the things that we wanted to capture here was that sense of movement, and so that's why if you go along the wall, you will see different things happening, and create this sense of movement, not just in terms of the cyclists who are moving through the community, but also, of course, the crows, which are migrating on a nightly basis through this community.
The community wanted some architecture in the piece, so the difficulty was to suggest the architecture, because the piece is about flight and Richard's crows and things, and the different trapezoids. So the challenge was to sort of suggest a house, a generic house, so from the neighborhood rather than a specific one, and capture those same planes within the architecture, if that makes sense at all. So it was kind of tricky.
Super excited and proud to be part of this community. Specifically, we donated about over 100 gallons of our environmentally friendly water-based paint, and I see you guys have beautifully splattered it all over the wall. I love it, and I think it's just such a great representation of Vancouver's east side with the crows, and it just brings such light and beauty to this neighborhood.
The last 2 days, actually, we've spent pretty intensively working on finishing up the two ends of the mural. It's interesting how the two ends are the last bits to be done, but both the beginning and the far side of it. So, yeah, we had to bring down a few forms and tie in a few elements and make it all work. So, I think that we've done that. And of course, then half of today we're putting clear sealer over it, rolling on clear sealer and making that sharpens up the color and gives it a little bit of an added life.
When this mural started, I couldn't even envision, when you're looking at small maquettes, that it could be so absolutely gorgeous. The concept of the flight path of the crows, the colors, bringing in elements from the neighborhood in the architectural design, the elements below the ground, and these are things that had come up from the children that attended our meetings, our community outreach meetings. they said, you know, let's do something for below the ground, and wow, we've got it. We've got crows and seeds and the colors of the neighborhood, and we should be really proud.
People seem to be moving faster, more joyous, and stuff like that, and then it all comes to an end, right? And then all the good feelings seem to just come at once. And in a way, it's kind of sad too, because all the people that you work with, you know, you develop a real strong bond, and that strong bond, I think, really helps on the mural itself. It gives it a really nice feeling to it.
Well, the house behind me is, I believe, just from 2 blocks down around the corner, and it's very typical of the dormers and the facades of the older houses in the neighborhood. The house on the other end is actually just a rough approximation of that old store over there across the street, the Burgundy Red building.
One of the biggest feel-good components of these community murals, all of the community murals that we're doing through Celebrate Vancouver 125, is the community engagement. It's a small group of people making a massive project, sometimes a very small project, but it's working with community. And in the McLean Drive project, it's actually the community that lives directly across the street from the wall, which is fantastic.
The thing that really stands out, aside from it being a really great wall and a great process, is just been the community, and the people we worked with in this neighborhood have been awesome from beginning to end. They're just their level of commitment to it. Young people, kids, older people, artists, the whole community has been out. So it's been an amazing experience.
I like blending the colors on the crows. I like the crows because they're not like really detailed, they're just simple outlines that we just change colors. And it works really well. Those two right there, I helped unpack over there, and I did 2 right there. And there's a couple behind the tree that I did.
Yeah, all in all, pretty happy with it. And of course, we had Jeremy do the final stroke, because there was a little bit remaining to be done at the far end. Did the final touch on the crow's back. And that was a nice stroke as well.